Hello and welcome back to the FPL Tom YouTube channel. In today's video we're going to be covering the best Game Week 35 wildcard. If you haven't used your wildcard chip, then number one, what have you been doing this season? And number two, this is the last and optimal week to be playing your wildcard chip, and we're going to run through the best team for you. Now, if you do enjoy the content that you see on the channel, please be sure to like, comment and subscribe, as I do answer all questions down in the comment section below. And we're trying to hit 1,000 subs on the channel before the end of the season. We're super close to doing it. I think we're about 81 subs away, so if we could do that, it would be absolutely amazing and I would be extremely grateful. But that is enough waffle from me. Let's dive into our Game Week 35 wildcard draft. And starting off our team, we have gone for Ederson in goal. Now, the reason I've gone for Ederson is I do believe he is the best choice to go for out of all the goalkeepers in the game up until the end of the season. I think Steele is another fantastic option, but I still feel like potentially Sanchez could get a look in at some point. Who knows? But I do feel like Ederson is going to play every single game. Manchester City have really good fixtures as well up until the end of the season. And they double in Game Week 37 with Chelsea and Brighton. The only problem you do have with Ederson, he is just very reliable. You know what kind of points he's going to get. It's going to be a 2 or a 6. Manchester City have faced the least shots this season, so he's not going to get many save points. He's not going to also get, many bonus points from that as well, unless he does something special. So it is going to be a 2 or a 6 pointer that you are going to get out of him. And I think, Steele and these other goalkeepers, they're going to get plenty of saves. They're going to start picking up bonus points as well. So they're potentially a little bit higher upside. But what I think it allows you to do is bring in players like Estupinian, who, got an attacking return today. Much higher chance of that happening than kind of Steele picking up 1 or 2 bonus points over the season. So we've gone for Ederson. Really like him. I think he is the best goalkeeper pick. Moving on to our first kind of defender, it is Luke Shaw. Now, the reason I've gone for Luke Shaw is good fixtures till the end of the season for Manchester United. A double in Game Week 37 with Bournemouth and Chelsea as well. And Shaw is currently playing centre-back, not ideal. We do want him in one of the wing-back positions. It does look like potentially Varane and Martinez are out for the season, so he is going to finish the season at centre-back. But I feel like with Dalot, Wan-Bissaka, there's going to be potentially a little bit of rotation. We see Harry Maguire coming back as well from a knock. I think Luke Shaw, because of his versatility, the fact that he can play centre-back and at left-back, I think that just gives him that little bit of an edge, and that is why we've gone for him. I think Diego Dalot is another fantastic option as well. Brilliant player. Attacking returns as well, much more likely from him, especially when Shaw is playing centre-back. But just down to that kind of a little bit of versatility within Luke Shaw's game, I think he is the one that you need to be going for. Moving on to our next defender, it is a man who got an assist today. It is Estupinian, a player I have been absolutely raving about all season long. I think he's the better pick over going for Steele in goal. Very attack-minded. Brighton also have 2 doubles now up until the end of the season. So for me, it's essential that you do have all 3 Brighton players. Everton at home as well in Game Week 35. Absolutely delicious little fixture there, if I might say so myself. Everton looking woeful. Brighton absolutely knocking the flying fuck out of Wolves, and could happen again. Nice clean sheet as well for them this week, so we'll see how that one goes. But moving on to our next defender, we do have Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's in this new position, isn't he, where he's getting a lot more involved in attacking play. I do think Liverpool don't look the best defensively, so I wouldn't be saying kind of expect too many clean sheets out of him. However, over the past 5 game weeks before Game Week 34, Liverpool, they're not quite there, are they? They're just not quite there. But over that period, Trent has been ticking along very nicely. Second most attempted assists over that period. 5 assists for him in the last 5 game weeks as well. So he's not getting the clean sheet potential, but is rewarding owners with his attacking returns. And that's what we want to see. Obviously, he is quite pricey, and there's other options available in more advanced positions that you might find more appealing. But I have gone for Trent in this team. And finishing, our backline is Kieran Trippier. The reason we've gone for this is after Newcastle do double with Leeds and Brighton, hitting some brilliant form as well. Newcastle approaching the end of the season, and Trippier has been super unlucky not to be getting an attacking return over the past few game weeks. 19 attempted assists over the past 5 game weeks. That's the most of any defender in the game at the moment, and he's come away with, you guessed it, a fat 0 assists. So very, very unfortunate. Obviously on all the corners, he is the highest scoring defender in the game as well. So I think it's just a very good pick with Newcastle's strong double coming up in game week 36 as well. That was the defence of the team. Let me know what you think of it down in the comments section below, and let's move on to the midfield within our side. March starts our midfield, and we're going to discuss him, Mitoma and McAllister all in one kind of chunk. Just get them out of the way. Which ones are the best to go for? At the moment, it's absolutely up in the air, isn't it? A little bit of rotation today with Mitoma and McAllister both being benched, and then Solly March coming off in the 56th minute as well. Absolutely just mental. I think that is going to happen over the next few weeks, but with the amount of doubles that Brighton do have, I think you've just kind of just got to roll with the punches, get a little bit lucky. Maybe this is the break that they needed. You know, Brighton have been playing a lot of games, FA Cup, midweek round, so maybe this little break is what Mitoma and McAllister needed, and now they can go and spurt on. Solly March as well has been playing like 90 minutes very, very consistently over the past few weeks. Did come off early today, so hopefully that is a little bit of a rest. He'll play full game in midweek, play full game against Everton as well, as they do look to finish strong. I think they feel that they could potentially beat Manchester United, and that is potentially why there's been a little bit of rotation. Absolutely bummed Wolves today as well, 6-0. They'll be going into that game very, very confident. Now, I've gone with March and Mitoma. Those two are my personal favourites. Over the past 5 game weeks, Solly March 4 assists, Mitoma 1 goal and 1 assist, and McAllister 1 goal. I think Mitoma as well was super unlucky against Nottingham Forest. Had a brilliant run. We ran all the way down to the byline, put a beautiful ball in, could have got himself an assist, could have also got himself a goal as well. So I think, you know, he's on the cusp of something as well. He has super high effective ownership as well. If you are playing for rank at this point, then he is a player that you probably want to have in your team. Otherwise, if he does anything, you can expect to absolutely plummet down the rankings as well. With McAllister, you do get penalties though, so there is that nice little bonus, but it does seem for me that these are the 2 players that you should be going for. If you don't want to go for any of these players, you want to go for someone else, I mean, Enciso, he's been playing absolutely brilliantly, hasn't he, as well? Another player who's just absolutely exploded out of nowhere, just the Brighton model of just random young exciting players absolutely just flying into our kind of midriff, and we just, you know, household names in a couple of weeks. So I think Enciso is another good option, but I do prefer these guys, especially now that I feel like they've all had a little bit of a rest as well today. I think that could be what they need, and then they potentially could go on and play all the games up until the end of the season. Moving on to our next midfielder, it is Bruno Fernandes. Good fixtures for Manchester United up until the end of the season, and a great double in 37 with Bournemouth and Chelsea. He has been super unlucky for his owners over the past few game weeks. Over those past 5 game weeks, he's only scored 15 points. However, his expected points are 28.50. Hit the woodwork as well in midweek. Really good fixture against West Ham as well. They look very shaky at the back, so I definitely think that is a fixture you want to be targeting. With that double as well in 37, that is potential captaincy material right there from Bruno Fernandes. Really like him as a pick. Wanted to get him in my team this week, but just couldn't quite do it. I think the plan for me is when Salah obviously has his double in game week 34, then the long-term plan is to move to Bruno in game week 37. Moving on to our next midfielder, it is KDB. Now, I did make this graphic earlier this morning, and then obviously all the early team news came out, and apparently KDB hasn't travelled to tomorrow's game. Sorry, get my words out. Apparently he hasn't travelled. He won't be featuring tomorrow, so it's a little bit of a plus and a bonus in many ways. I think if he's completely ruled out, then just go for Salah. That is the obvious choice to go for. Liverpool have great fixtures up until the end of the season, and he has just been kind of ticking over quite nicely over the past few weeks. So if it is KDB is ruled out completely, just switch to Salah. Very easy option. But I do like KDB. He has been on everyone's shopping list and kind of eyes since the Arsenal game. Over the past 5 game weeks, 3 goals, 5 assists as well. If he does kind of miss the game tomorrow, then plays in midweek, and then potentially, you know, could start this game against Leeds. I definitely think he could be back in people's minds. It just depends how long that injury is out for. If it is a long time, or if it's kind of unsure whether he'll be back for game week 35, then I do suggest going for Mohamed Salah. Moving on to our final midfielder, and it is Marcus Rashford, back with a bang in midweek against Spurs. A goal plus an assist, good fixtures till the end of the season, and like we said with Bruno Fernandes, that double in game week 37. Bournemouth and Chelsea, they're right there, ladies and gentlemen, is probably going to be my captain in game week 37 if he is fully fit and firing, because he could absolutely maul both of them. Chelsea look abysmal. Bournemouth at that point potentially could be safe in the Premier League, so have absolutely nothing to play for, so could get absolutely smashed and battered. So yeah, that was the midfield of the team. Let me know what you think of it down in the comments section, and let's move on to our forward and our bench. And completing our Game Week 35 wildcard draft is Erling Haaland. Of course it was going to be. It had to be this man. Double in Game Week 37 of Chelsea and Brighton. Good fixtures till the end of the season. The man's just an unstoppable machine as well, isn't he? You've got to have him in your team. This week in Game Week 34, EO of 200%, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely incredible player as well. You've just got to have him. Very, very easy pick. I don't think there's too much else I can say on that one to convince you to take Erling Haaland and not have him in your team. So let's run through the bench. Iverson just there to make up the funds for the rest of the team. Isak, yes, there was a midweek benching. Potentially, though, that means that he's going to potentially play a lot of the games coming up to the end of the season. He still could get rotated, so it won't be great, but I do feel he is like one of the most exciting forwards that you could go for at this point in the game. Obviously, Newcastle have a double as well in Game Week 36 with Leeds and Brighton. The Arsenal fixture in Game Week 35 isn't ideal, but Arsenal do look a little bit wobbly as well at the moment. Newcastle in good form and at home as well. Very key there. Sam Greenwood as well. Another player who's just there for the budget so we could get as many high quality players within our team. And then Botman as well. Just take advantage of Newcastle's double in Game Week 36 and the fact that they are a brilliant defence. That was the team for Game Week 35. Let me know what you think of it down in the comment section below. If you have any questions about your team as well, please do leave them in the comments, as I do answer all questions. Like I said as well, we are trying to hit 1,000 subs before the end of the season, so if you do want to help me out, that would be massively appreciated. Thank you very much for watching, and good luck this game week.